What is going on, comic fans? Welcome to the Legion of Comics. I'm Mark, and today we're going to continue looking at some of the narratives that are flying around and being discussed online. The internet has become such an interesting place ever since the Superman movie trailer dropped. I got to tell you, it's been very entertaining, very worrisome, very disheartening, very exciting. There's a lot of discussion going on about this movie, and it has me just thinking back on previous projects and other things that's happening. So today, we're going to dive into the topic conversation of, is Superman too crowded? There are countless characters in this film, and there's a lot of different ways you can look at this and try to make some sense of it. Let's get into it. Don't forget to hit the description of any of my videos to find fantastic resources for this amazing hobby, including Big Time Collectibles online retailer, JustinComicx cleaning, pressing, and submission services. And if you're looking to get into comic books and need a shop to do a pull list at, and mail in books and all that good stuff, ABX Comics and Games has got you covered. They are the community's comic shop. So hit those descriptions down below. Let's get into it. So Superman, the movie, Superman Legacy, just plain Superman, whatever James Gunn is officially calling it, takes flight next year, 2025 in July. And we got our first teaser trailer. While it exploded the internet, set some kind of records for Warner Brothers with the amount of views the trailer got, it definitely is not without its criticisms. There are plenty out there that are just absolutely anti anything other than Zack Snyder continuing his DCEU, which that's fine. I understand that idea and everything. It's very unrealistic, but I understand where people are coming from. So there's a lot of dishonest, participants in the conversation, but there's some genuinely concerned and honest criticisms that go toward this film based off what we know so far. Now, I know it's just a teaser trailer. There's so much time between now and then, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? It's fun to discuss these type of things. We're fans. We love the hobby. We love comics. We love movies. So it's fun to discuss it and try to make sense of it or speculate on what's going to happen. So that's what we're going to do here today, specifically on if this film is too crowded. Now, that's been an issue with tons of movies in the past where it has absolutely harmed the movie. There's perfect example like Spider-Man 3. That was the narrative around that. Too many characters, too many villains. Black Adam suffered from it as well, introducing the Justice Society. Countless people said, well, we didn't get their backstories and they just put them in there and we're supposed to know who they are and blah, blah, blah. No, but you're supposed to know what they show you about them, kind of thing. Batman versus Superman, or BVS, Batman v Superman, suffered from too many characters too soon in a franchise, introducing Batman and Wonder Woman to the DCEU simultaneously inside of a Superman film. And the first Suicide Squad, you can argue, had too many characters because the way it was edited and written didn't really play to the strength of an ensemble cast. But whenever you bring this topic up of this Superman film being too crowded, the automatic go-to that everyone has said to me specifically is James Gunn knows what he's doing. He knows how to do these ensemble movies. They look at Guardians of the Galaxy 1, 2, and 3. They point out the Suicide Squad and they point out Creature Commandos. And to that, I would say those are not applicable to Superman whatsoever. Guardians of the Galaxy is not a standalone film about a character. You're going into it as a team movie. So getting a little bit of story and attention to all these different characters along the way makes sense. When we go and sit down to watch Superman, we're going to sit down and watch Superman, not Supermen. It's Superman. Now, it's fine having supporting cast, other characters in there, but how much would that take away from our Superman story? Now, we do have a large ensemble of characters with Superman that might even get pushed to the side by adding all of these extra heroes. Let's just pause for the cause for a minute. So Guardians of the Galaxy is not an ensemble movie. It's a team film. We go into the expectation of watching a team film. Same thing with the Suicide Squad. Same thing with Creature Commandos. But if you look at just Superman on its own, things that we think about as Superman fans when we pick up a Superman comic, watch a television show, watch a movie, is Superman and his mythos, his lore, his story that surrounds him, his canon, and things like Lois, Lex, Clark, being that it's his alternate identity, Ma and Pa Kent, Jor-El, Lara L, Perry, Jimmy, Cat, Steve Lombardo, Bibbo. He's got like countless reoccurring main characters inside of the Superman lore on its own. That was over 10 right there, which you can find those characters in pretty much any Superman media you pick up at all. The animated cartoon, the comics, the TV shows, the movies, those characters are always there. And how Clark and or Superman interact with them is how we get an idea of who our Superman is, like who's writing him, who's directing him, what this version of Superman is going to look like. There's always little differences and stuff, and we kind of gauge it and get to know him and understand him by how he interacts with his world. Well, on top of those 11 or 12 canon Superman characters, Mercy Graves, there's another one. We have added to it for this film Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner, Metamorpho, Hawk Girl, Simon Stagg's got to be in there somewhere. Supposed to have Sean Gunn playing Maxwell Lord. There's so many more characters that James Gunn has confirmed as not being cameos, that they're actual roles in the film. That doesn't mean that they're the star of the film, but that takes our attention away from the Superman world building and kind of gives it to them. So that's where a little bit of my concern, my wonder is going to come from. Again, balancing the story. He can hit an emotional beat. He can do this. He can do that. But how is that going to stack up with Superman being such a different project than anything James Gunn has done before? With Guardians of the Galaxy, Suicide Squad, Creature Commandos, these are all characters that are very recognizable if you're like really entrenched in comic books. Outside of that, you were being introduced to the Guardians, to the Squad, to the Creature Commandos for the first time via James Gunn television show or movie. James had a lot of freedom to really rewrite these characters or write them in a way to establish them for a general audience. Even for a lot of comic book fans, these aren't characters that they frequent. I mean, ask yourself, can you name the original Guardians of the Galaxy comic book team? I can't, and I could get maybe one or two, maybe. But that's just the point of it. Everyone knows who Superman is. Superman has certain traits and attributes about him that have to be present on that screen. And part of those things are also his ensemble cast that comes along with him. So they're all in the film. We've seen pieces of them in trailer. We've seen Perry, Kat, Steve, Jimmy, Lois. How much are we going to be sidelining that stuff to do another team film? Because we see Superman interacting with, I'm just going to call them the Terrifics. That was a team that Mr. Terrific had. And all the superheroes in this movie are all wearing Mr. Terrific's outfit. So I guess it's their team. Is he going to be spending that much time interacting with them? Is it going to be just another thing based, like where he's kind of just using them as a story, a plot point, because he's pulling from a certain story in comics, which I'll do in a separate video. But it just got me wondering, what do you think? Is it too crowded? Because again, this is not a team movie. This is not Guardians. We know we can do that. This is not Creature Commandos. It's not the Suicide Squad. This is Superman, where you don't get to redefine a character, where he's not on a team, where you do need to give attention to that. And we're added crypto in here. There's all kinds of stuff. The movie was confirmed to be under, I think, didn't they say confirmed to be under 2 hours? Or I can't remember if they confirmed it under 2.5 or under 2, but it's not like it's a epic in length. It's pretty standard in length. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to figure out how we can get all these people into this movie without them being cameos or throwaways and still not kind of edging out other characters. What do you think? I'm definitely curious to hear some feedback on this. The Suicide Squad Guardians defense doesn't work in this case. So what else we got? What else can we lean on? But that's where I'm at with it. I'm left wondering. My brain goes one way and the other, but I'm going to keep keeping up with stuff, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. Definitely cannot wait to see how this all pans out. I wonder at what point we'll get like a non-teaser trailer, a full-length trailer. It'll be interesting to find out. But I appreciate you watching. Be sure to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that join button. Join the Legionnaires. They're about like 70-something members strong right now. So I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you have a fantastic new year, and I'll see you in 2025. Remember, we are Legion.